The first poem I'm going to read is called Carnival. And so the carnival is dead, just for today. Tomorrow it reanimates. The sunrise swell of lunar blooms sigh, abide, and eat the moon. A tepid tempo of its own, underplayed and overblown, a chorus of many mangy souls sleeping with their shoes on. And so it dies, but soon reborn, masses dusky and forlorn. Nobody told me what would happen when graves heaved over their own heavy contents, and a sudden fiery urge lit a carousel in my stomach. Lullaby sung from on high, twinkling like a lady's sigh, a hush between the wall and me. But in the next room, someone is trying to start a fire with his hands. I listen to the shuffle of palm on palm. I turn out the light. I go to sleep. Thank you so much. This next poem I'm going to read for you, these are all quite new works. I came out with my first self-published poetry collection last May and completely forgot to bring it here. If you're interested, you can talk to me after the show. But I was having a little bit of writer's block after I put out that collection. So I was trying to find a lot of new kind of writing challenges for myself. And one of them that I found quite trusty was the Abe Siderian. I'm sure a lot of you know what that is, but it's a 26-line poem where every line starts with a letter of the alphabet, so it works its way through. So that's what this one is. It's called April at the Flower Farm. April at the flower farm, and Betty unfurls her little fingers, chin up to the world. She dozes off again. Each day ends with reverie, the kind of foolishness that only comes from skipping childhood and growing apart from who you were meant to love, hiding among the stems at the flower farm. I didn't have a baby. I had a joke stuck inside me that kicked at my insides, lining sugar organs with petrified trepidation. Monday through Friday, as my world nauseated me, made me fear things like obligations, bumblebees in orbit, painting white roses red, and even just being quiet. I ran here when I was too old to salvage what was left of my dignity, and too young to throw it away. But now I understand creation. I know the ways of God are my vocation. Betty coos when she awakens, and wails when I am not at her side, giving her life like I am xylem, each blossom a tiny fist, yearning for the comfort of a mother who leaves zinnias and daffodils in each footstep, tiny gardens wherever she goes. The final poem that I'm going to read for you tonight took a lot of thought in this kind of strange moment that our country and our world finds itself in. I think, as all of you will know, writers have kind of two methods of dealing with these moments, kind of digging into the emotion and unpacking it and analyzing it, or the opposite of that, which is fantasy and escapism. And I tend to subscribe more to the latter, writing about, these difficult times in voices that are parallel to mine but don't necessarily overlap. So that's where this poem came from. I wrote it on the day of the inauguration. It's called Fidelity. Did you hear that rustle in the leaves? The one whispering, "This is forever, forever, forever." Its serpentine tongue savoring each twisty word as it weaves its way through a jewel-studded apocalypse. Perhaps a prehistoric beast, perhaps a piece of rope pulled by a child. Its temptation in its inverse form, an apple without a core. It's heaven without an angel in sight, just lovely, lonely golden light, and it's slithering around my ankles now. But when I try to grasp it, it darts away gleefully, almost like it's laughing at me. The forest of vengeance is wild, but I am wilder. I am lusher and denser and greener. So underfoot, overhead, in the empty space between trees, I hunt the creature that threatens me so. I shake my spear and tell him, no, this is not how this ends, no. But if I did catch it, what then? Could the contents of its stomach be a fountain of youth? Might I parade its head around as proof of my triumph? Or would I let it put me in the back seat of its car, drive me into town and sit me at some bar, order me 2 old fashions and ask me about my childhood? Maybe, if there was something at the end of it for me, a diamond at the end of the rope, the promise of, though ravaged, ardent hope. Or maybe the rights to a Bible story that was never written but should have been, where the thing I had hunted so fiercely asked if I wanted 1 cherry or 2. Do you hear that voice in the trees? It's asking for my number, for my address, for the maiden name of my mother. It's asking for my hand, but I could not stay true, because all what I want is to remove all the plot from what this morality tale is about, to take all the turquoise and tourmaline out, take all the invoices, burn them, and cut up my cards. In truth, I can't foster that weight, but I could live lacking love, or as a martyr. So I swear, on this day, to support and defend evenings in dive bars on rural roads, to pull my feet through the undergrowth heavy and seeping, without any mental reservation, with faith and allegiance, in good faith and bad, but mostly for something fruitless, for fidelity, for forever.